So, Banega Swachh Bharat, is it a hit or a miss? Is the road ahead long? Well, it is quite clearly. It's going to take many, many more years for this to work. But is there also a danger that this very noble mission has been politicized? And are the reasons for politicizing this fair? Joining us now for more on that, Dr. Kiran Bedi with me in the studio. We'll be joined in a few moments by Babul Supriyo, the Lok Sabha MP, who's the Minister of State for Urban Development. The key ministry in so many aspects of this particular project, this particular scheme. Ajoy Kumar, spokesperson of the Congress, and the spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Swachh Bharat. Saurabh, let me come to you first. Arvind Kejriwal was tweeting earlier on in the day saying that there were all sorts of announcements made about the Swachh Bharat Abhiyaan. It could have been done quietly. But isn't he really missing the point? Because this is an issue on which a noise needs to be made. It's good to send a message that this sort of scheme actually exists. What's wrong with that?
I think there is no problem in making noise, but the problem was that it was all noise, no action. The Prime Minister who came to the power on the issue of good governance just kept talking about the good governance. However, the facts and the figures show that the Prime Minister and his government failed miserably. Out of the toilets, individual toilets, they were supposed to build 25 lakhs, they could not build even 1/5 of them. Out of the community toilets, they could not build even 1/4 of them. They had to achieve 100% waste collection and transportation in 1,000 cities. They could achieve it only in 2 cities out of 1,000. They were supposed to achieve 100% processing and disposal of waste in 100 cities. I am so sorry to say they could not achieve it even in one city.
No, but did you expect this to happen in 1 year's time?
No, it can happen.
It can happen.
I agree, Som, it can happen.
It can
happen. It's a failure. But the worst thing is,
how can it happen? I'm sorry, it cannot happen. You cannot solve profound issues on waste management in cities where millions of people live in 1 year. It's not possible. The targets are not for 1 year. The targets are not necessarily for 1 year. No, they've fallen short.
I'm talking about the targets of 1 year.
They are not, they may not.
And second thing is,
yes.
And the second thing is, and the worst part of everything is, that last month Prime Minister on the occasion of Independence Day has already congratulated the whole government machinery, the officials, the policy makers for making this Abhiyaan successful and achieving all the targets. So this is the worst thing.
Okay, let me ask Kiran Bedi. Let me put that to Kiran Bedi.
Clean chit.
The point that the Aam Aadmi Party is making is that it's all very good to make noise about this, but on the ground nothing has been achieved in terms of the numbers. The overall numbers are not where they should have been. That's a fact. How would you respond?
Mr. Bharadwaj has been repeatedly using one word called they.
Right.
If you replace the word they by we, I think things would have changed in Delhi. And Delhi is full of volunteerism today. All he had to do as a leadership, mobilize the youth, mobilize even his own party workers. Everybody would have joined. You would have had the city cleaner and not sick with dengue and fever and malaria in the hospitals. Yeah. You just have to replace the word they by we. And that's where it's happened. Wherever the change has happened today, it's by we. Where the municipal corporation has worked with the people, where the leadership has been the political leadership. They led the way. So the NGOs, the RWs, the slums, everybody has an organization here today. All you had to do was get the heads together and pick up the broom yourself, which is your party symbol.
Why has Delhi come 397 out of 476 cities?
It is very easy.
In terms of cleanliness.
It is very easy to give spins to the words. However, individuals and city makers cannot build toilets. Waste disposal and, these things are civic agencies are supposed to do it. And individuals cannot.
Exactly. So, sort of when you criticize the center for not having been able to achieve what it had set out to do in 1 year's time, you must understand even in Delhi that it's very difficult to do. It takes a huge amount of time.
Yes,
so why criticize?
Delhi,
why criticize for the sake of criticizing?
Municipal corporations have got 398th rank out of 476 cities. This is what BJP corporations have achieved in 1 year.
So you fob it off on the BJP because they run the corporations. The state government has no role, no impetus in at all work.
The government has no role in civic amenities. No role at all.
You want to come in?
Waste disposal, that is a fact. Waste segregation,
the municipalities are run by the BJP.
It's immaterial. It's the same Delhiites. The municipality could have also. Bharadwaj, can I just speak? I didn't laugh at you. I didn't laugh at your statement. Let's be civil and let's be
Because
good mannered.
I was not saying anything which was worth
could
laughing.
you tell him to? Mr. Bhardwaj, I didn't make a laughing statement of what you're saying. Let's be civil. I was respectful of what you say. Unless the word, even in municipal corporation, it's they have to make it we. Municipal corporation can also associate people, what stops them? But political leadership matters. One word from the political. Why is Swachh Abhiyaan so brilliantly changing India today? It's because the call came from the Prime Minister. It started to change. Earlier you had budgets. But the day the leader of the country starts prioritizing an issue, flagging an issue, and then I must tell you where the media took over. Media took over what the Prime Minister is. One of the most positive campaigns being run by the media today is Swachh Abhiyaan across the board, whether it's print or the visual, and the visual has made the biggest. I've seen across channels which they've been dedicating without advertisement their own time. This is where media made the difference, but the call came from the leader of this country.
Sure.
And it continues to be reiterated through various means of communication. That's why the leadership of the city had to take the lead, whether it's municipal corporation or RWS. How does it matter? Which party?
We are joined in just a few moments by Babul Supriyo, the Lok Sabha MP, MOS, Urban Development Ministry. But before that, let me go across to Ajoy Kumar of the Congress. Mr. Ajoy Kumar, a lot of people would say that, okay, fine, Swachh Bharat has not achieved the numbers that they were hoping for in that first year. But what they have achieved to a substantial degree is awareness. There has been huge awareness, not only in urban India, but also in rural India. It's a project that successive governments have failed in for decades, but there is this impetus now. Rather than criticize what has not been achieved, why doesn't the Congress back this government for what it has achieved so far and assist in the process of making this more successful?
You know, because Vishnu, this government is the master of spin. I mean, the Prime Minister, Ms. Bedi, Dr. Bedi has said that the Prime Minister took interest. But it's like so many other programs of this government, so much of publicity, so much of talk, nothing on the ground. And like the figures which said, their own targets they're missing by 75% per year. Their own targets, which, you know, they said they will put 100 lakh toilets, and they're hovering close to 25 to 35 lakhs. Even in the school toilets, they are hovering around less than 40% of the targets they have set. They are on 220,000 schools to have toilets. 100,000 was their target. The Prime Minister announced it has been done, but unfortunately 40,000. But more important, it is the hype which is destroying without the sincerity on the ground. I'll give an example. The polio was a government project to make India polio free. And look at the discipline and the advertisement, and it happened. Today, it is always talk in every of these programs,
Okay.
and that is what is leading to... So, no, and I'll give you the last, let me finish up by saying, the government's own survey, which they are not making it public, says that there is no water connection. The toilets are not being used.
Okay,
there's
Ajoy,
a story
you
which
made
is going
lots of
across.
points.
So, no...
I'm interrupting
Vishnu,
you only
no,
because we have Babul
Vishnu, I want to
Supriyo.
finish off, Vishnu.
Let the minister reply.
They are very good.
Yes.
Yeah, but the minister is very good in making movies and, you know, songs and all, but on the ground, there's 19, they said 1.9 lakh crores was necessary till 2019.
So therefore, does the Congress party also disagree
crores.
with the presence of Amitabh Bachchan in the Swachh Bharat Abhiyaan? Because he also makes,
We love
he
Amitabh
also
Bachchan to be
sings
there
and
on
he
the
also
Swachh Bharat
makes
Abhiyaan.
films. Does it disagree
want
with the
him to be
presence
there.
of
Look,
lakhs of others across
No,
this
no.
country who have nothing to do with governance but believe that Swachh Bharat is important? Should they not be part of the mission?
And I think that's a great part. The communication is great, but the issue is put your
So
mouth
why
where the money where
criticize
your mouth is, do
Babul
it on the
Supriyo
ground.
because he sings and he acts? He's an
I'm
MP
not
as well.
criticizing Babul, I'm just saying.
No, but
again,
before
you're
he
mistaking
even made his point, Ajoy, I think
Vishnu,
that's being a bit unfair.
Vishnu,
No,
I'm not being unfair on Babul. Look,
Okay.
one sec. I apologize if that is how it has been interpreted. What Babul is doing in bringing awareness is great. But the government has to do something concrete. And please don't misunderstand my statements as
Okay,
criticizing
fine.
Babul. I
Fair
think
enough.
what he
Let's
did
move on from that
was
and let's
remarkable.
Babul Supriyo, the larger point both the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress are making is that there have been lots of promises. Little has happened on the ground. I will give you one statistic. A total of 31.83 lakh toilets were built between April 2014 and January 2015 under the campaign, but that is only 25.4% of the target for 2014-2015. you are missing your targets massively. Why is that happening?
Well, first of all, I will accept his apology, because I think that Congress, in their desperation to create some noise, is often demoralizing even the music that is hitting the ears of the people in terms of the awareness that needs to build up in the country towards making it a cleaner India. So I accept his apology. That's fine. That's a personal remark, but I'll take it. Now, in terms of what he said, that he is concrete work.
It was not on the music.
Okay.
It was not on the music, so please get that clear. So please don't spin it
I've said
I appreciate your music.
No,
I
anyways,
appreciate your music and
I'm
I
off,
appreciate
off that
move on,
topic.
let's move on. Let's talk
I'm
move beyond that
that
comment.
topic.
Yes,
The
Mr.
next
Supriyo,
point-
carry on.
the next-
Yes.
The next point is that you said that no concrete work has happened. I think that people who have been there in businesses, who have managed or done businesses, know that there is something called a break-even point. Things start a little slow. It reaches a break-even point, and then it starts. The process, once it is a little oiled, it starts accelerating on its own. I would say that when you're talking about concrete progress, let me tell you, before you start making concrete, you have to actually build the ground on which you can lay the concrete and the iron.
So would you
Let
say
me
that
tell you,
your
let me get
targets
into
were unrealistic?
That detail then.
Your
I would
initial
say that
targets were they
no,
unrealistic?
I'm not saying that. I am saying the loose sand below which this concrete roads can be built was so very loose due to lack of policy. And let me tell you, did any other urban development department previously take up this challenge? Why can't the Congress just keep quiet for a little while and see how much of this target we can achieve by March 2016? Are we talking about a country where
how much can you achieve?
The success rate has been
Mr.
100?
Supriyo, how much do you think?
I would say,
How much?
I
Yes.
genuinely feel that we can, even if in the rate, we all know how the urban local bodies work, what is the work standard. We are trying to improve that. I would prudently say about 75%, 70 to 75% success rate would be fantastic for the first year.
Okay,
Because as
you
we
are
have seen
saying
the PM
this
say,
is the
you
minister,
say Bharat
the
Mata ki
MOS
joy, and then spit on the same
in the
place.
Urban Development Ministry saying that by 2016 March, 2016 April, 70 to 75%, is that right? At least 70% of the targets.
No. Let me put
would
that
have been
straight,
met?
Vishnu. Let me not put that as a statement. I am saying that when you start work, when you're trying to accelerate a process, in the first year itself, after building the awareness, building the momentum, I would say, I would give my officers a lot of credit if they achieve about 70 to 75%.
No, you
in
will
the
give
first
your
year, and then I
officers
would push
credit
them
if they
with
achieve
base.
that. I am asking you, will they achieve that?
Yes, and I am very, very confident. Yes, I am very, very confident that they will achieve that. If
Okay.
not more,
Vishnu.
I am making a very modest guess. Modest guess, because March 2016 is away.
Okay.
Instead of saying 90, 100 and then falling back at 75, I would say while we are building the momentum and the awareness, I would
And
say
this
it's a great
statistic
achievement
pertains
if
to
we
the
can reach
construction of
75.
toilets, right? This pertains to the construction of toilets,
Yes.
Babul Supriyo?
Now there are two sides of it.
Yes.
There are two. Yes, Vishnuji, there are two. Vishnu, I'll put in. There are two sides to it. One is constructing the toilets, and two is getting people to use those toilets.
Yes.
Let's not forget, in India, building toilets and getting people to use those toilets are two different things. I will give you a small example. In front of Victoria Memorial in Calcutta, I installed 2 mobile toilets on which they are obviously not on the ground, so there were 6 stairs on it. After having installed that, I went back there. Obviously, I'm not going to keep a vigil on that or every day or every week. Next week I go there, I find everything is clean. I'm not saying it is dirty, but people are refraining from climbing those 6 steps to reach the toilet, and they're just doing open defecation or whatever that is. So you have to actually talk to these people with a smiling face that, boss, you may have done this over the years, but this is the time to change. I am saying that 25% leverage that I would give to my officers
very important
or a pat of the.
Vishnu,
This is a very important point. I want us to understand that. I would
Kumar,
request the
you
Congress
accept
to
what he's
not
saying,
shout and
that
accept that
it
this
is a fact
this is the
that
problem in
open
India.
defecation exists in this country still, even in areas where toilets have been newly built, because there is a culture of not wanting to use toilets which exist. That is a huge challenge. What do parties like the Congress, what can you do to urge people on grounds of sanitation to use toilets where toilets have been built?
first of all,
Instead of
I would like to
criticizing the
remind
government,
Honorable
go to
Minister-
the people, build
One
the
second.
build the
Mr. Babu,
build. No, just one point.
When you're
Instead of criticizing one second. Yeah, just give me 15 more seconds.
Yes,
then
go
you can
ahead.
talk.
Yes,
I'm just saying, instead of criticizing government as at this very ambitious project, I would say use the platform, use the machinery that you have to create this awareness, to ask people to build the toilets.
Okay,
and
fine.
then if you see
Ajay Kumar,
that we
make
have
your
not
point.
achieved
We're
the
running out of
75%,
time over
you
here.
can
Ajay
criticize
Kumar,
us.
make your point. Yes.
The problem is, I would have appreciated if this government and the ministers would read what has happened. They repackaged the Nirmal Bharat Abhiyaan, and Mr. Babul Supriyo, I would feel grateful if you show the same amount of grace telling the people of this country that how much of toilets have been made in this country in the past UPA 1 and UPA 2 on the Nirmal Bharat Abhiyaan. It is significantly 8 to 9 times higher than the targets you have set for yourself this year. So my question is, if you are expecting political decency, sir, then I would also expect you that you repackage Swachh Bharat,
Where
which
is
is
the decency coming
appreciated.
here?
But I'm saying have the courtesy,
I
have
did
the
not say any
courtesy to
indifferent
recognize the Nirmal Bharat. No, one sec, Mr. Babul Supriyo. I'm saying when you keep preaching, you don't preach about what's happened in the Nirmal Bharat and total sanitation program, which was 8 to 9 times your target already achieved. You seem to have a very less memory on those issues. So I will appreciate that, sir, that in the same way that we are saying that it's a good program, you should appreciate that the total sanitation program, which you repackage as Swachh Bharat Abhiyaan, should carry on.
Okay,
And
fine.
the-
Babul
and even
Supriyo,
the
would you like to
sanitation
respond to
waste
that?
Just
management-
see the amount of
Quickly respond to that
where
before I go back to Dr.
I don't
Bedi.
really know. I really do not know where I disrespected your Nirmal Bharat Abhiyaan or anything else. We were not even talking that. Let's talk business. What I'm saying
Exactly.
is that if you're saying that the government is not achieving, let's talk business right now. We are not talking history. Please accept that there is no political indecent comment that I made. You are making cynical comments in every second sentence. I will not go there. I would say that if you think
No,
that
no,
you can
Mr. Babul
create a
Supriyo.
hue and cry, then let me finish now. Let me respond
Then
to
do
you.
it, no,
I
why-
would request you as the opposition, very respectfully, please educate. Even if you can educate 100 people about it, do that, and then catch us if you think
And
we
I
cannot
would-
achieve
and-
making those 75 of the
And
toilets.
I would request you humbly as an
making those
opposition that stop
75%
doing
of the
so
toilets.
much
Okay, no,
of
that's a
drama
fair
and do
point,
it on
Dr.
the
Bedi.
ground.
30 seconds, ma'am. We're completely out of time.
And
Go
I would
ahead.
request
You're not
Vishnu
taking-
that so
you're not
much
taking the
of
point.
hype, please do something on the ground.
Ma'am, the time is run out. That's not
The
in my
point,
hands.
let's understand.
I accept that they got a
Yeah,
I
the point
apologize
is,
for that.
let's look at the glass half full and not half empty. I wish today, as Indians, we start
Exactly.
looking at Swachh Abhiyaan as half full, because you have moved from nothing to almost half full. Let's look at it as half full. Secondly, let's treat Swachh Abhiyaan as a right and a responsibility, which means it goes above politics and it's right above. Recently, right now, the Prime Minister said the insanitation costs every individual 7,000 rupees, 7,000 rupees per year, which means Swachh Abhiyaan can save every Indian 500 rupees per month by good health. Third, you got to rise above political leadership, but leadership has to lead it. If it doesn't accept this Abhiyaan, it will go half glass half empty. And finally, one thing more which this government of India can do is Shramdan. Today we're talking about Shramdan. Today Gandhiji's birthday. What is the word Shramdan? We got it from Gandhiji. Shram means Swayadan. If we can involve youth in Shramdan as a part of keeping their own colleges clean, their universities, school, parks clean.
culture of
I think
cleanliness.
a culture of self-service.
Yes.
Shramdan, I think it will go a long, long way in
All right,
maintaining.
I think that's something that everybody can agree on, one way or the other. This has to be a national initiative. It doesn't really matter what the name of the Abhiyaan is. It is an Abhiyaan. It has to be done. India needs to be clean. We desperately need
The
to
mind
ensure.
has to
Make
be
it a
there. The
national
mind-
movement.
We desperately need to ensure that the
And-
lives
and
of our
less
people
of show and
improve.
more on the ground.
And national movement. Join in the national movement.
All right, we're going to take a short break.
And-
Thank
and-
you all
and let's
very much for
enjoy it.
joining us.
Vishnu and actual work.
And
We
rise
are all
above.
right. We are all on this in this together. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us.